Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Swastika and today we would be going over the short current affairs and short analysis for July 11th, 2020. So I have done my masters in political science from Jawaharlal Nehru University. I have done my BA honors in political science from Delhi University. And if you like my content then please subscribe on YouTube and please follow me on Instagram. So today we are going to discuss an article based on cooperative federalism. Secondly, we are going to analyze whether we need a fiscal council. Third, we are going to discuss some short news in which we will be discussing two components. The first is the procurement of fighter helicopters for the IAF, and second is based on solar energy. So moving on. Today in the editorial page there is an article on cooperative federalism by Derek O'Brien who leads the Trinamool Congress in the Rajya Sabha. So this is important because cooperative federalism is an important aspect of and it's questioned in a lot of competitive papers, a lot of exams. So in this we basically have to remember that India is quasi-federal. I will explain that in the next slide. So, but in this we start off with trying to understand the what Article 356 is. So he starts off by saying that the principal tool of combating state governments is no longer Article 356. So what is this article? This is a provision in the case of constitutional machinery in the state. So this has three. If the President, on receipt of report of the Governor of the state or otherwise, is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, the President may declare a proclamation. It is assumed he assumes to himself all or any functions of the government of the state and all or any powers vested in or exercisable by the governor or any body or authority in the state. He declares that the powers of the legislature of the state shall be exercisable by or under the authority of parliament. Makes and such incidental and consequential provisions as appear to the President to be necessary or desirable for giving effect to the objects of the proclamation. So basically, in the case of the failure of constitutional machinery of the state, the President takes over, and this is the power of Article 356 of the Constitution. So the writer is arguing that it is no longer the principal tool of combating the state governments. Once more, a well-meaning report of the 14th Finance Commission is being cited, but it is also being sabotaged step by step. And that primarily is because the reports of the Finance Commission are being sabotaged. So before we move on to understand this article, we have to understand three basic terms. First is cooperative federalism. So in this, we have to understand that India is a quasi-federal democracy. Right. So this basically means that the center and the state have to coordinate with each other in terms of funds and in terms of a larger public interest. But the center is stronger than the state in any of the cases, and it is the center that disburses the funds to the state. So they, in cooperative federalism, the center and the states share a horizontal relationship where they cooperate in the larger public interest. So as we have already discussed, the center and the state have to cooperate with each other. It is an important tool to enable states' participation in the formulation and implementation of national policies. The Union and the states are constitutionally obliged to cooperate with each other on matters specified in Schedule 7 of the Constitution. So, this you just have to remember, this is for explanation in terms of what cooperative federalism is. The next term that we are going to study is fiscal deficit. What does it mean? So, a fiscal deficit is the difference between the total income of the government, टोटल टैक्सेस, नॉन टैक्स कैपिटल रिसीट्स एंड इट्स टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर. तो ये कुछ भी नहीं है. फिजिकल डेफिसिट का मतलब है एक उसमें जितना गवर्नमेंट का टोटल इनकम है उसका एक्सपेंडिचर उससे माइनस करो. So a fiscal deficit situation occurs when the government's expenditure exceeds its income. So this is a lot like when we studied the trade deficit, this is a lot like that also. It basically means that when the expenditure जितना आप खर्च कर रहे हो वो आपकी इनकम से ज्यादा है तो हमें एक फिस्कल डेफिसिट का सिचुएशन मिलता है ये एक नेगेटिव टर्म है This difference is calculated both in absolute terms and also as a percentage of the gross domestic product of the country. A recurring high fiscal deficit means the government has been spending beyond its means. So this means that when we constantly have an increase in fiscal deficit, मतलब कि हम लोग जितना खर्च कर रहे हैं उससे उससे कम हम कमा रहे हैं तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हम लोग जो खर्च कर रहे हैं वो हमारे मीन्स के बियॉन्ड है हम उतना खर्च नहीं कर सकते लेकिन हम तभी उतना खर्च करे जा रहे हैं तो उसकी वजह से हम एक डेफिसिट वाली सिचुएशन में आए हैं The third thing that we are going to study and which is going to be discussed in this article is Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2003 FRBMA. So this is an act of the Parliament of India to institutionalize financial discipline, to reduce India's fiscal deficit, to improve macroeconomic management and the overall management of the public funds by moving towards a balanced budget and to strengthen fiscal prudence. The main purpose was to eliminate revenue deficit. So the idea was of the FRBMA Act was that we have to remove the revenue deficit and it's an act by the Parliament of India where we want to institutionalize financial discipline. So the issues that have been pointed out in this article are that firstly that 356 no longer ties the hands of the state but rather, it is the report of the 14th Finance Commission that is being sabotaged step by step. The report of the 14th Finance Commission was accepted in 2015 with the idea that it would devolve more funds to the state government. But Derek O'Brien is arguing that the center is not giving funds to the state. So you are now sabotaging the state government and also the recommendations of the finance 14 finance commission by not putting the 356 article but rather by not giving funds to the state states would have new responsibilities especially in the social sector he's arguing that the reality is very different the reality remains that the tax devolution to states has been consistently below the 14th Finance Commission's projections. One of the reasons for that would be the economic slowdown that is happening and is mainly, he argues, caused by the central government. The shortfall in the GST collection for 2018 to 2019 was 22% when compared to projections. Payments have been delayed as well. For example, center owned all states about 35,000 crore as GST composition for December 2019 and January 2020, which was only paid in June 2020 after a delay of more than 5 months. The center has imposed a series of cesses which are not a part of a divisible pool and not shared with the states. There are now rumors of a COVID cess as well. According to a search study by the Center for Policy Research, there is a 6.84 lakh crore gap between what the 14 Finance Commission promised to the states and what they have received. So the problem that is being highlighted is that there is a 6.48 lakh crore deficit in terms of what was promised to the states according to the 14th Finance Commission and what they have actually received from the center. So this is very problematic because COVID-19 is further deepening the crisis. So the author is further arguing that when Cyclone Amphan happened in West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee government had disbursed 6,250 crore to take care of the things. The center, on the other hand, had disbursed only 1,000 crore. I remember when Cyclone Amphan happened, Narendra Modi actually went to West Bengal, and yet the tiny amount that he paid was 1,000 crore compared to what the states had to pay up. So this is not done and this is problematic. This is what the author is arguing. He is further saying that according to the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, the GDP can actually accommodate a fiscal deficit of 3%. Yet, in the post-pandemic situation, this limit of 3% will be crossed. तो ये बेसिकली ये कह रहा है कि अकॉर्डिंग टू द एफ आर बी एम एक्ट अभी हमने 2 मिनट पहले डिस्कस करा था, इट बेसिकली मीन्स कि जो रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट है गवर्नमेंट का उसको किसी तरह से कवर करा जाए एंड हाउ वी हैव टू गो अबाउट डूइंग दैट एंड इट इंश्योर्स फाइनेंशियल डिसिप्लिन. So, but in the post-pandemic, this limit will be crossed. It has an escape clause that allows relaxation up to 0.5% in times of exigency. This escape clause has, however, been utilized by the center and it has proved woefully insufficient in addressing the current crisis. In theory, the center has raised the fiscal deficit limit for states under the FRBM from 3% to 5%, but only 0.5% of this rise is unconditional. The remaining 1.5% is dependent on fulfilling certain realistic and impractical measures, including privatization of power distribution, enhancing revenues of urban local bodies. States are being set up for failure. This is the true picture of BJP's cooperative federalism. So in the next article we have already discussed the problems. We now discuss whether we need a fiscal council. So this article is written by Duburi Subbarao, who is the former governor of the Reserve Bank of India. So he is basically saying that a fiscal council was endorsed by the 13th Finance Commission. It was endorsed by the 14th Finance Commission. It was also endorsed by the FRBM Review Committee headed by N.K. Singh. So also you have to remember जो FRBM Act हम पहले डिस्कस कर रहे हैं वो अभी N.K. Singh के अंडर हेड हो रही है. तो IMF ने अभी रिसेंटली बोला है कि 50 countries across the globe have fiscal councils. So, what exactly is this fiscal council? This is basically a permanent agency with a mandate to independently assess the government's fiscal plans and projections against the parameters of macroeconomic sustainability. So, this is basically a permanent agency, but it is independent in nature. Independent मतलब कि वो government के ऊपर dependent नहीं है, वो government से independently चीजों को assess करेगी, analyze करेगी and projections against the parameters of macroeconomic stability को बताएगी. So is fiscal council going to be a solution to all the problems we have? He is saying that yes, because it will give an independent and expert assessment on government's fiscal stance and thereby aid an informed debate in the parliament. Arguments against it will exist, but having a fiscal council will undoubtedly add value. So there are some people who say that in support of a fiscal council that in its role of a watchdog is that it will prevent the government from gaming the fiscal rules through creative accounting. But there is already an institutional mechanism by way of the controller and auditor general order to check that. If that mechanism has lost its teeth, it's better to fix that rather than invest in another costly bureaucratic structure. But he argues that this will still definitely add value because it will not only be restricted to making multi-year fiscal projections, preparing fiscal sustainability analysis, and providing an independent assessment. Right, so it's a wide job chart which we have to consider. Okay, so moving on. In the next piece of news, we see that the IAF gets last of 5 AH-64E Apache attack helicopters from Boeing. So this company basically made a contract of 22 Apache attack helicopters from Boeing, and by getting the last 5 of them, we have completed that contract. India had contracted 22 Apache helicopters and 50 Chinook helicopters from Boeing through Foreign Ministry sales program of the US government in September 2015 under a 3 billion deal. Boeing's joint venture in Hyderabad, Tata Boeing Aerospace Limited, has been producing aerostructures for the AH-64 Apache helicopters for both US Army and international customers. So you just have to keep this in mind. It was a news, so I discussed. Solar energy, we see that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated a 75 megawatt solar project in Rewa district in Madhya Pradesh. This is going to provide power to not just Madhya Pradesh but to Delhi as well. This is essential for achieving self-reliance in energy, which is part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you for listening to me, guys. And if you like my content, then I would request you to please press the subscribe button. Thank you for listening to me.